Love Letter to Lady Luck, a game overview. Love Letter to Lady Luck is a sequel to Love Letter, created by Seiji Kanai. Now, I have put sequel in quotes because there are many Love Letter games. Like, it's somewhat difficult to track which one is like a quote-unquote true sequel, because like there's Love Letter Stories released in 2025, which is sort of like a sequel, and then there is also Love Letter to Lady Luck, which was also a sequel. So anyway, it is one of the sequel games at least. Now it is one of 5 included games in Princess Wonder. These are 5 games linked by the presence of a princess character, which is the character I'm using as my model currently. Alright, let's talk about the basics, because a lot of people have heard of and have played Love Letter, but not many people know about this sequel, which is only included in this pack. So I want to do a little video describing how this game is played. So it is an auction game. Each player starts with some chips of their own color. And the story goes that the king couldn't stop. This continues from the original Love Letter. The king cannot stop the huge amount of suitors going into the castle, so he is allowing anyone to go into the castle as long as they can gain the trust of the people in the castle. And after you've met the people in the castle, you start wondering, maybe I don't want to get the princess's attention. Maybe I wanna try marrying some of the other people in the castle, and that's sort of the premise of this game. So you're trying to gain the trust of the other people in the castle. And the trust is represented, how much you try to like talk to them to gain their trust is represented by the chips. So first off, if you're playing with 3 players, you would remove or like burn, if you're going by the original Love Letter terminology, 8 cards. If you're playing with 4 players, then you're using the entire deck, and this game is only compatible with 3 or 4 players. Then you would set up the castle, which has the same number of cards as the number of players. So in a 3-player game, there are 3 cards, and in a 4-player game, there are 4 cards. Now, one of these cards will always be face down. And after that, you would start the game. Now, at the start of every round is a bidding phase. Everyone would put down the number of chips, and they would try to like talk to the people, flirt with them, I guess. The game manual calls these action points, but I think it's a little bit misleading, because in board games, action points tend to refer to how many actions you can take. But here, it's really just a simple bidding system. So I'll just refer to them as chips. So let's say yellow bits first. Yellow bits one point, 1 bidding point. And then blue bits 2, and red bits 3, and so on. Now each player takes turns bidding until everyone else decides they no longer wanted to bid. So let's say it goes back to yellow. They bid 4, a total of 4, and then it goes to blue. Blue bids 5, and then red decides, I'm going to drop out, and yellow decides, I'm going to drop out as well. And so blue would win the bidding, and they would take that card. Now they, after taking that card, they could look at it in case it was the face down card, and they could decide whether to use it for the score or the effect. Now each card has a score and an effect. So in these cards over here, like the number of points is shown at the bottom of the card with the number of stars. The effect is also written in the effect text box, and included is also how many copies of the card there are in the entire deck. So like for instance, this fortune teller over here is worth 2 points, and the effect is you can check the face down card in the castle. And there are 4 of these in the deck. Now, after everyone has finished the bidding phase, it would be the collaborator phase. I this is just a gameplay overview for like the detailed rules. You can find it in Board Game Geek. So I won't be going into the specifics of the bidding and the rest of the game. I'll give a main summary of how the game works here. So after the bidding phase comes the collaborator phase, and let me change my model for this. So yeah, now it's the noble. The noble is my favorite character in the game, actually. So yeah, let's continue. So in the collaborator phase, you would set up the castle again in preparation for the next round. And the players would take turns activating any effects so they choose to one at a time, only one card per turn. So let's say I'm blue, like if blue starts first, then blue would activate one card, and then it would be the next player's turn. Say it's red, red activates one card, and then it goes to yellow, they would activate one card, and then it goes back to blue again. They could activate a second card if they so choose to, and so on. Each card can only be activated once per round unless some other card says otherwise. If there are any cards you have chosen to be scoring cards, they cannot activate their effects, obviously. So here I have represented them as face-down cards. You can also hold the cards in your hand so that it's easier for each player to keep track of how many points there are. But yeah, essentially, yeah, you just have the scoring cards either face down or in their hand, and the cards whose effects you have chosen as collaborator cards, they will be public. Okay. So the card effects, some of them are beneficial to you, others will hurt their opponents. So for instance, this mate over here, for instance, it says +1 chip. So you activate it, you get 1 chip. That's good for you. The noble here says choose one player, they turn one of their score cards into a collaborator card, for instance. So this mostly hurts other players because you can use this during the final turn of the game, and you can turn one of their score cards into collaborator cards, which means that they lose the score card. Like maybe they had like a 4 or 5, for instance, another noble, and you just turn them into a collaborator card. So they just lost 4 points because it's no longer a score card. And of course there are counters like the wizard over here. Choose one of your collaborator cards except this and turn it into a score card, so your cards can counter other cards and so on. And at the end of the game, each player totals up the score cards points and any unused chips they have. 3 unused chips would be 1 point, and the player with the most points wins. So there you go. That's a gameplay overview of how Love Letter to Lady Luck plays. Hope that has been informational, and see you next time. Bye.